Hi guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's doing well. In this video today, I want to address family and friends who know somebody who's experiencing domestic violence. And I know oftentimes a lot of people just don't know what to say, how to react, how to get them help. It's a tricky situation, and I kind of did a cheat sheet on what my personal experiences were. I've suffered over 5 decades of domestic violence, and so I know oftentimes family or friends want to help, or they're not aware of what's going on. I want to address this today in this video. And, first off, I want to start saying that domestic violence affects millions of people, around the world. And there's no discrimination on domestic violence. It can affect, age, race, income, education, religion, or gender. But domestic violence can include emotional abuse, verbal abuse, financial control, sexual abuse, intimidation, isolation, stalking, and threats. And so I want to be able to help someone, if you're experiencing someone in your life that is going through this kind of situation, what you can say or how you can help them. And so hopefully this video will help someone moving forward to that situation, where it could help you be more clear on what you can say and how you can say it without making the situation worse, or so let's get right into it. Understanding why people stay is the big factor. And I had a lot of this. And actually leaving an abusive relationship is a very dangerous time in someone's life. So you have to have, like for me, you have to have a game plan when you want to leave. You can't just up and leave. And if there's children involved, it's another story. You really have to get yourself together before you go and make that final decision. But whatever you do, don't tell your abuser what you're doing, because then it can get really bad. So I'm just, for family and friends, there are warning signs, and you'll see it. And I'm going to address that in this today. And why people stay. For me, fear of retaliation or more violence was one for me. Financial dependency. I didn't have the money to just get up and leave. And later on in life, when I had children, always weighed heavy on my mind, my kids growing up, seeing how their father was treating me. It wasn't something that I wanted my kids to see, because I didn't want them growing up and being just like him and doing the same thing to their wives or in their relationships. So it was very troublesome for me. And again, children or any kind of custody concerns is one of the reasons that I stayed. An emotional attachment was for me. Always feeling, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I should stay to try to make it work. Always blaming myself that it's why it wasn't working out. Hope that the abusive partner will change. And in the beginning, that's what they led you in to believe. When they start with abusing you, then they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again, I'll never hit you again, I'm so sorry, I love you, and then they kiss on you and all that all that nonsense. And that's exactly what it is. It's nonsense. Because look, let me tell you, no one has the right to put their hands on you, ever, ever. You're worthy, you're loved, and no one has the right to put their hands on you for any reason. I don't care what it is. And in my opinion, it's a control. That's all it is. It's a control on the person putting their hands on you, making them feel good because they can abuse you or they can hit on you or whatever the case may be. So, and in some parts of the world, religious and culturist pressures of domestic violence is very strong, so they don't leave their abuser, and so, you know, that was never the case in me, but I can see how in other countries where religion and cultural pressures can lead to domestic violence. The lack of housing, not knowing if I left, where would I go, not having a place to go, no money, no nothing, you know. It was very intimidating, and that was one of my concerns. Immigration concerns, maybe somebody's an illegal immigrant and excuse me, maybe somebody's an illegal immigrant and they're being abused and they're afraid if they speak out they might be deported. You know, that's another issue, a current issue that's going on in America. Isolation from family and friends. That was another thing, that my abusers would not want me around my family or my friends because they would be in fear that I would tell them what's going on. So that was a big one for me. Low self-esteem caused by years of emotional abuse. That was huge for me. Huge. And so instead of asking, why don't they leave? A better question is, what obstacles are preventing them from leaving safely? That's the real question. What obstacles are preventing them from leaving safely? And I just addressed a lot of those that were mine, you know, the children, the not knowing where to go, financial issues, feeling not worthy, hoping that the relationship would change, a lot of those things. But, you know, the main thing is don't be judgmental on the people that are experiencing domestic violence, because that can turn someone off. You know, coming to you for help is, you know, judging them, or certain things that you might say that would make them feel you're judging them. And just be compassionate, and listen to them and listen to what they have to say rather than give your opinion. Just, that's all sometimes it takes, is just to be a listener. But recognizing the warning signs, I'm going to address some of these. So if you have someone that's in your life that is experiencing, or you think something's not right, I'm going to give you some warning signs on letting you know maybe it's not right. And frequently canceling plans. So like if you have an engagement with someone, hey, let's go out to dinner, let's go out to lunch, and then they all of a sudden cancel their plans and they never show up or whatever, that's a sign. That's a warning sign. Seem anxious around their partner, that's big. That was big for me, where somebody's around and you just don't feel comfortable, you're in your skin because you're afraid, they're gonna find out, or whatever the case may be. Having unexplained injuries, so that just don't add up to what they're telling you. If you see bruises on them, or, and then they go to tell you, oh, I fell down, and it's on their, like, eye or something, that's a little, or something hit them in the face, and that, it just, be aware of what they tell you. Don't judge, just listen. But these are some of the signs. Become withdrawal from family and friends, because that's a big one with abusers. They isolate their victims from family and friends so they don't get around them to tell them what's really going on. And it's a mindset, because when you do the blame game and you tackle that with violence over and over again, it gets embedded in somebody. Oh, it's going to be okay. He didn't mean to do it. It was an accident, that kind of thing. It's not right. Constantly checking in with their partner. Like, if you're an adult and you're constantly checking in with your partner, that's a warning sign, because that's what the abuser wants you to do. And that's a big warning sign. Appears fearful about making decisions, because that's another control that the abuser puts on the victims. So they can't make a move without the abuser's okay. Having limited access to money, that was huge for me. Huge. So wearing clothing to hide bruises, that's another one. Lose confidence, because that happens when you're being abused over a long period of time. And like I said, it's the beatings and the shaming and the blaming. It takes away somebody's confidence and self-esteem to making them feel like it's all their fault. And it's not. It's the abuser's fault, because, again, no one has the right to put their hands on you for any reason. No one. That is not love. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you telling me. That is not love if they're putting their hands on you. Apologize excessively. Apologizing excessively is another warning sign. Says things like, it's my fault. I make them angry. They're only like this when they're stressed. Those are warning signs. All those that I just stated are warning signs. So here's what to say. Helpful statements include, I've noticed you seem different lately. I'm concerned about you. You don't deserve to be treated this way. I believe you. I'm here for you. So those are some big things to say. You're not alone. You're not alone. There are other victims out there. You're not alone. This is not your fault. When they abuse you and they put their hands on you, it is not your fault. It's theirs. They're the ones with the problem, making it yours. You deserve to feel safe. Everybody does. Everybody deserves to feel safe. And I'm willing to help you however I can. Those are the things to say to somebody that's experiencing domestic violence. So I hope these things to say help you in addressing someone in your life that you may have a gut feeling is experiencing domestic violence. These are some of the things that you can say to them without passing judgment on them. Definitely always, you're not alone. Anything I can do to help you, I'm here. Just tell me what I can do to help you. You deserve to feel safe, and you're loved. You're definitely loved. Importance of listening is another topic that I want to address in this, to family and friends who might experience somebody that's going through being victimized. And instead of focusing, you know, you just focus on listening. That's the key. Don't be judgmental. Focus on listening. Allow them to tell their story. Avoid interrupting. That's huge. Like, in other words, if they're telling your story, say, wait, I don't understand. Why would you do this? Or why would you do... Don't be like that. So always listen without interrupting. Avoid minimizing their experience. Like I was saying, don't question what they're telling you. Listen to them. Believe in them. Believe in their story. Believe it's true what they're telling you. Avoid comparing it to someone else's situation, because then that makes them feel like, oh, well, that may not be me. Or, you know, don't do that. Don't compare to other people's situation. Like I said, the main thing is listening. Let them tell their story. Don't interrupt what they're telling you. Don't give advice on when they're in the middle of telling their story. Sometimes survivors or people going through being victimized just need someone to believe in them. So listening communicates you matter. Your experiences are real. I respect you. Those are the key phrases that you can say after they're done telling you their story. And definitely, you're not alone. You're loved, and no one deserves to, you know, to have their hands, have somebody beat on them. No one. Avoid statements like, why do you stay? Because then that puts like a judgmental, you know, I get your concern why they're with somebody that's like that, but there could be so many reasons why they're there. You really don't know. So don't be judgmental and have a question and say, why do you stay in it? I would never put up with that. That just right away downs them on why they're there and still putting up with it. Don't ever say you need to leave them immediately, because when somebody's being abused, leaving them without a game plan, you know, a plan of escape, can be very, very dangerous. It could cost them their life. And that's not good. You just don't want to act on a whim. And don't come back and say, I told you this would happen, because these are all judgmental phrases. So things that you could say instead is, I'm glad you told me. Thank you for trusting me to tell me your story. I'm here whenever you need me. Those are the key things that you can say to somebody that you feel is being victimized. Respect their decision is number one. No matter what they do, if they stay, respect their decision, because you don't know what's in their mind. You don't know why they're staying. You don't understand what's causing them to be in that situation over and over again. So, because you're not the abuser, and you're not knowing what he's telling or she's telling the victim, you just don't know. And it could be, like I said, multiple reasons, kids involved, just whatever. So offer practical help. So instead of saying, let me know if you need anything, offer specific assistance. For example, I can watch your children for you, or I can drive you to your appointment, or I can help you gather important documents, you know, for you, so it keeps them out of the danger with the abuser, and it alleviates them having to put it all together. Somebody else can do it for them on their behalf. Or I can store an emergency bag, you know, at my home or wherever you want it to be, all put together in the event that you do need to leave. Or I'll go with you to court if you'd like that. I can help you look for resources. And I'm here to tell you, there's a national hotline, a national domestic violence hotline, and it's in my description. Feel free to use it at any time. It's 24/7 service, and it's confidential. So by all means, use it. I did, and it helped. So hope that helps. Encourage a safety plan. And for me, that was huge, because I did have kids. I couldn't just get up and leave. I didn't have no money. I didn't have anywhere to go. I had to trust a family member with my story and my game plan. So some of the things that I'll cover here, a safety plan helps somebody prepare if they decide to leave, or if violence escalates. Some of the key things are keeping identification documents together, saving emergency money if possible, packing medication, having extra keys available, memorizing important phone numbers, identify a safe place to go, teach children how to call emergency service if appropriate, establish a code word with trusted friends and family. Plan ahead saves lives. It did me. Main confidentiality. Don't gossip. Don't tell other people. If somebody trusts you in telling you their story, don't go to a friend and excuse me, don't go to a friend and say, hey, so-and-so is going through this. Don't do that, because it takes away the trust they have in you. It will get back. So just don't do that. Stay connected. Many abusive partners isolate survivors from friends and family. Continue reaching out, send encouraging messages, invite them to gatherings, celebrate birthdays, check in regularly with these people that you might feel have an issue with being abused. Small acts remind survivors they have people who care. So always, build trust with them. It will help. Understanding the trauma they're going through and how people think and respond. Someone experience abuse may, and these are some signs, forget details, change their mind a lot, return to the abusive partner, feel numb, have difficulty making decisions. These reactions are common responses to prolonged trauma. So be patient. It's essential to helping a victim. Know your limits. You cannot rescue someone. You cannot make decisions for them. You cannot control the abusive person's behavior. But what you can do is listen, encourage, support, provide information, help create options like, can I keep a bag for you? Can I help you get some documents together, what we just covered? Continue caring. That shows a lot of support for somebody that is experiencing, some serious trauma. Take care of yourself. Support someone experiencing abuse can be emotionally difficult. Practice healthy boundaries. Seek guidance if needed. Talk with trusted professionals while maintaining confidentiality. Take time to rest and recharge. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you know somebody that's experiencing domestic violence, you can reach out to that hotline, that national domestic violence hotline, and you can tell them your concerns, and they could help you on how to address, what you may be experiencing with a family friend or a friend. Family member or a friend. Sorry, excuse me. Hope and healing. Recovering is possible. I did it. It's possible. I'm a survivor. It's possible. Okay, it is possible. Don't ever feel that it's not, and there's no way, there's no hope, there's no way out. You're locked in. That's not true. That's what the abuser wants you to think. So don't feel like you're stuck, because you're not. You just have to have somebody that's trusting in your corner. And so healing takes time, especially if you're going through someone that's abusing you over a period of time, embedding it in your head. It's all your fault. You're the one that caused this all. See, you did this because had you not done that, this wouldn't have happened. That's bullcrap. So, and progress may be slow. So, all I want to say in conclusion with this is helping someone experiencing domestic violence does not require having all the answers. Because who does? Who has all the answers? I didn't. And it requires compassion. It requires patience. It requires listening without judgment. It requires believing survivors, believing in them when they tell you their story. When we replace criticism with understanding, isolation with connection, and fear with hope, we can become part of the solution. So never underestimate the power of simply saying, I believe you. You are not alone. I will walk beside you. Those words can change a life. They did mine. Especially, I believe you. You're not alone. That changed my life, and why I'm here today to help someone that experiences domestic violence, or a family and friend that feels something's off and one of their family members or their friend is experiencing domestic violence. And I just want to say, thank you for taking the time to listen to how you could help somebody experiencing domestic violence. And if this helped you in any way, and you just didn't know what to say or what to do and fear that you may have made things worse, I hope this information, because if you have to replay it again and again, please do. Give it a like. Share it. Give me a comment and let me know how this has helped you. Because I know it did me. And so I wanted to give back some of the things that helped me become a survivor. And like I said, I hope this helped someone or people out there that are struggling. Just give me a thumbs up, because it helps my content get out there to more survivors or more people that family and friends that may be knowing somebody that is struggling with this. I really do appreciate it. And with that said, I hope you have a blessed day. And I love you, and you're not alone. You're not alone. And I do care. Thank you guys, and have a blessed day.